Hey guys, I am Ibigandscary. I am bringing you another StarCraft 2 replay, this time featuring in our bottom right hand corner GHSTxGlitch, our blue Zerg. He is in Masters and we're on Ohana, and in the top left we've got OneWordPoem, our red Terran, also in Masters. I believe this is on the ladder, red versus blue. What do you know? GHSTxGlitch. I'm always curious when you have the X in the middle of the word, if it's supposed to be X, is it supposed to be cross, is it supposed to be times, because he's just, ghost times glitch, like a ghost glitch or something like that. I don't know. I honestly don't know. So if you know, you could tell me. Otherwise, I don't know. I don't know what pathway these guys are going to be taking on their build orders, but I mean, it's Ohana, so all doors are open. I really like Ohana. It's one of those maps that really just, you could play this game any way you want to. Two base is pretty much a given, just because it's so easy to defend. And then the third base, the door is definitely open, but you have to take a little bit of a risk in order to take it. Moving out the first drone from Glitch, just getting that first scout off. Looks like he's popping up to the top left corner there, just to check to see if there's any sort of shenanigans, but we can see no gas timing just yet. And actually that drone's very, very fast moving out there, even if there was going to be some sort of proxy barracks. Maybe the SCV would be arriving at about the same time, but still rather aggressive from Glitch. Poem is throwing down his first barracks in the traditional wall-off area. No supply depot just yet, and it looks like the drone from Glitch is going to have absolutely no problem sneaking in and scouting the gas timing. No gas out of Poem just yet. It looks like it's going to be a hatchery first coming out of Glitch. No pool or gas back at his home base, so a heavy econ build. Something you can usually do that whenever you get a scout off like the scout that Glitch managed to get. I mean, he saw the barracks there, he saw the nice saturation at the main. There weren't any cut SCVs or anything like that. So when you scout that, you can usually do that sort of heavy econ build, and especially on Ohana where the rush distance is so wide, the SCV is going to show up, see that the hatchery is down, that the pool is very much delayed. Both of them will be popping at approximately the same time, about 40 seconds for that one, and about 40 seconds for this one too. So yeah, about the same time. Probably going to be a gas thrown up for Glitch in just a matter of seconds. Poem is countering the heavy econ build from Glitch with his own CC right after X. Again, just keeping him on the same even keel with Glitch. Glitch isn't going to come out too far ahead on the harvester count, but he's going to come out a little bit ahead because he did throw down that hatch first, and I don't see Poem forcing him to cancel that expansion anytime soon. It looks like the first queen is underway as the pool pops. Still no gas out of him, so he's going to be working pretty heavily on the drone saturation here. Might even be thinking about grabbing a third base as well. Go for that Ice Fisher build. Difficult. It's more difficult to do that on this sort of map because the destructible debris makes it so you have to take the long way around to defend that base, and if you can get in there, you can usually deny the third. Traditionally, you'll need 1 or 2 rounds of Zerglings out just to accurately control the map and keep Poem contained. Bunker going up in the bottom left-hand corner. Excellent placement here, making it so it's really difficult to get us around without going around the minerals. Very good placement there. Very powerfully defensible. Very strong. Oh yes. CC is complete. Still just the 1 racks, but now 2 gas. My goodness, it looks like Glitch is requesting a pause just so he can double check. I don't know. He's fixing something. Doesn't matter. He's got the first round of Zerglings out, and he's again doing that really nice defensive scouting. He's got to be mindful of this little push coming out of Poem. He's got 4 Marines coming down with 1 SCV, and it looks like they're coming down here to the bottom left-hand corner right whenever the hatchery gets started. That's definitely going to get canceled. We don't see nearly as enough queens in the right position. No creep spread for those queens to reinforce that. If there was creep, if these rocks wore down, this would be a completely different engagement, but because the speed that Glitch decided to grab that hatchery, ultimately it's going to lose 100 and some resources. 125. No problem, no big deal, especially because Glitch's saturation on this natural is going to be pretty heavy into the minerals, far heavier into the minerals than the gas that we see that Poem is starting to grab with his double gas. Double gas grab for Glitch. down at his main. What is he going to be using that gas for? Well, we've got the spawning pool already done, and once the 100 gas gets taken for that, I'm sure he'll have the speed out so that the Zerglings can take advantage of the wide open spaces inherent to Ohana. But also maybe we'll be seeing a Baneling bust because there is no wall off over here by the ramp. The bunker is very defensively placed back there, and so a couple of Banelings can really do a number on that orbital command. But 10 drones underway for Poem, and it looks like he is dead set on taking that hatchery. And with this ridiculous number of queens, I don't see how he'll have much of a problem defending it, especially if the creep spread gets up. A lot of Hellions coming out. It looks like the Hellion factory was taking advantage of the reactor built on the barracks, switching up the barracks to a tech lab. He's got a stem coming out from that first tech lab, probably going to be combat shields coming out of the second one, as the first two Hellions make their way down to the bottom left hand corner to take out the hatchery there. Going to have a hard time taking out that actual hatchery. Just doing some pressure there. There's no saturation, no drones for it to take out. If these queens decided to waddle down there, they'd be able to stop them, but in all honesty, those Hellions are going to be spending all day long trying to roast out that hatchery. Probably just be better off just taking out the destructible debris and letting creep seek in there. Hellions forced back with another 2 on the way, really committing to the Hellion production there. Looks like he's finally back. No, he's not, man. Mass producing those Hellions, and what's Zerg going to do? How is he going to react to this? He could definitely throw down a Roach Warren. Never a bad idea there. Interesting placing for the evolution chambers. Traditionally, personally, I like to position them here and here. Use my queens for the wall off so that they're part of the wall off. 750 health can go a long way at preventing those Hellions from doing a run by, and that's really what you're going to be worried about. With just 4 queens out on the field, there goes the Roach Warren and the Baneling nest. I was looking for him. So the Roach Warren is an excellent decision, really going to shut down this Hellion harass. However, behind this is this heavy bioplay that we can see coming out of Poem. He's got 1, 2, and 3 barracks, but 2 tech labs. And those tech labs are mass-producing Marauders, which do quite a lot of damage against Roaches. So I think he's playing one step ahead of Glitch. Glitch is naturally going to progress into those Roaches, and they're going to have a very hard time at dealing with those Marauders. So if this push, which is very, very intensive in the Marauders, normally we'd see them fall to pieces to all the Zerglings that Zerg can naturally field, though with so many Hellions, and Poem's done a really good job of keeping these Hellions alive. This is going to be a really intimidating push. I foresee the 3rd is going to fall just because the destructible debris aren't in place. There's no spines to protect it, and the queens are not going to be enough to hold off these Marauders. The Marauders pushing in, the Hellions having a field day with all of those Zerglings, turning around to deal some damage to the queens, which is a mistake. I'd leave the Hellions to deal with the Zerglings. Marauders doing their thing, taking out 1, 2 of the queens. A 3rd one gets caught off guard. All 4 of them end up falling eventually. Now the Marauders and the Hellions all bundle up and push into the natural instead of the 3rd. Take out all of those drones. Oh man, 16 drones being roasted alive. Check out that economy, 47 over 31. Really a fantastic hit, but what is this? A lot of Banelings coming down from Glitch. Those Banelings are going to have to do quite a lot of damage because those Marauders are just so very resilient. It looks like the +1 was done on those Marauders, but the armor was not. Didn't really help him out in that engagement, but it was a massive win for Poem. I mean, check out the resources lost to him, and then check out that 23 workers killed all told. Glitch is going to be feeling not panicky yet. I mean, he's got 3 bases, he's got 7 drones on the way, he's got good saturation, and he's got an okay tech path. He's got the Roaches and the Banelings, he's probably got lair up already, he does. So not altogether the worst position in the world for Glitch, but he's going to have to know that either he has to force Poem to stay on 2 bases forever and do the denial game forever, and that's going to be very, very hard as we see siege tanks are getting out on the field with their siege tank tech almost done. He'll be able to take that 3rd with relative ease as long as he continues to play with his composition. I mean, these Marauders have proven to be very, very, very cost effective, and with Poem forced to waste a lot of drones on another wave of 8, a lot of larvae on another wave of 8 drones just to get back into the game of the harvester count. He's going to know that he's going to fall behind in the economy. That CC is almost done for Poem. He's going to lift it off, and he's going to take the 3rd as soon as these destructible debris go down, and there's not a lot that Glitch can do to prevent that. He's got creep already pooped there from an Overlord, and that's going to delay it, but only going to delay the inevitable. Another factory and the medevacs start to be created, so I foresee that Poem's going to sit back, relax, make his lead just a little bit larger, get maybe a couple of drops with the medevacs is probably how I'd go. Sit back, relax behind the siege tank line, get that siege tank line huge, and then while I'm doing that, move out with 1 or 2 medevacs, drop at the third, drop at the natural. Really good play here by Glitch to only have his lair here. Every single one of his tech structures have been down here, with the exception of the spawning pool at his natural, Roach Warren and Baneling Nest, and hopefully the Spire, if that decides to come up eventually. We'll see how long this game lasts. It's looking pretty grim for Glitch as Poem decides to move out. A really nice scan there to fight back some of this excellent creep spread out of Glitch. What type of upgrades? We've got the 1-1 done already. A lot of roaches coming in. Needs the Zerglings to come around behind them. There goes the siege. The siege tanks weren't sieged just yet. Really nice splits from Poem, but the Banelings, just the sheer number of them, and with the roaches behind them, this is enough to crush that siege tank line. Glitch has to pull back, and now we see the resources lost tab is starting to slowly equalize. The drop play coming out of Poem is a bit of a I don't want to say desperation play. It's definitely not desperation because he's not feeling like he's behind, but this is kind of a salvage play. He really wants to push out and do some damage, and now that first strike has completely faltered, he needs to keep Glitch contained, keep him cramped on his own home base, and small forces like this is really not going to do anything if it is a direct engagement. Really what he needs to do is come down here, draw the ire from Glitch's actual force, and then at the same time move in with his drop, and that's exactly what he's doing. A little bit of back and forth there, but this is where the actual damage is being done. The Marauders are going to have no problem dealing a death stroke to that queen. At the same time, Glitch has to retreat with his roaches, which are off creep, and they get caught very, very quickly by the stimmed Marines. Even with them on creep, they're just barely staying ahead of the Marines, finally turning around to die a very quick and painful death. The drop has still not been cleaned up. There goes the Banelings. Finally, good control there by Poem picking up the Marauder, but ultimately it's not enough to stop Glitch with his just wave of Zerglings. Got to buy time for another wave of Banelings. The Marines do get surrounded and they go down, but not before destroying the third hatchery there. Glitch's economy is absolutely in shambles. Yeah, the harvester count's really not that bad, but the fact that he's only on 2 bases now is terrible. And then you've got this waiting in the wings, another round of drop play. Really, this is all that Poem needs to do, is just continue the drop play and build up the siege tank line. It's really cool how he's only using 1 or 2 siege tanks at a time, relying on the heavy mobility of the Marines, and then only having 1 or 2 siege tanks to throw down 1 or 2 volleys before being crushed. A lot of people will overcommit to the siege tanks, and that can really sacrifice a lot of mobility. And Poem's not doing that. Glitch is countering really, really well with these Banelings, but he's just not caught a break yet. With this right here, this third's going to go down. The fourth has not even been saturated yet. It looks like, again, a really good engagement here by Glitch, and some excellent splitting out of Poem. Look at that split. Half his force going north, half his force going south, and allowing the siege tank to take a lot of the Baneling hits. Nice positioning there by Glitch behind the smoke screen, I guess, the foliage. But the medevacs up above scouted it out for Poem, and he knew not to engage into those Banelings. Now Poem has an absolute field day. He doesn't have to push down to the third anymore, but with the drop going on in the natural, infestors are finally out on the field, and a nice fungal growth there will clean up this drop. But ultimately, Poem had a massive force that was about to steamroll into his natural, and Glitch just has to tap out. Really nice play. And again, Glitch, good building placement. I like how you have it here, which is far easier to defend than in here. A lot of Terrans especially will attack just the main and take out the Spire, the Infestor Pit, and all this stuff. Nice idea not to stack them all up in the main. However, you stack them all up in the natural, so maybe, I don't know. Spreading them out like that is super cool. And also, again, with the Evo chambers up by the ramp, you can only use 1 or 2 queens to block off the ramp rather than all 4. And you can have 2 more positioned a bit more aggressively to deal with the Hellion harass. He took a lot of damage from the drops, but that's pretty much unavoidable when it's done perfectly like Poem was doing. So not a lot you can do there. Maybe, I don't know. You never really had a chance to do a tech switch up. You do have quite a lot of gas left over, but that's because you're relying on Zergling and Banelings rather than Infestors. Maybe getting out the Infestors a little earlier could have helped with the drop play, but I really wasn't paying too much attention to your economy just because Poem was all over you. Poem, really nice waiting for that third. You didn't push out until you did a lot of damage on that timing attack. That unit composition was right on the money with the Hellions, and the Marauders just doing some massive damage to the Roaches that you know is going to be coming out. It's a fantastic play. Fantastic. Class act. Class act. You know what else is a class act? Is watching my videos. If you guys have a game you want me to cast, you could PM me here or on Reddit. One way or another, I will see you guys later. I am Ibigandscary. Bye.